One of the things as comics that we do is we bring it home. And when we bomb real bad and stuff, I've learned that I leave that on the doorstep. I don't bring it inside the
Leave it
house.
outside?
Like I actually wipe my feet on the rug outside on the all-purpose weather rug outside of my house, and I leave it out there before I walk in the house.
Okay.
Because it's like there's only so much. I don't do it every day, but there's only so much you can dump into another human being, and they're going through their own shit.
Yeah,
You know
this is also very common with if anybody works in like coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Things where it's like you're winning, you're losing.
Yeah.
Sales is another one it's high pressure.
Yeah.
How's your day? But it's interesting to hear you say this because I feel like of when you go traditional gender roles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard a lot of women talk about like, oh, okay, if you're home and your man gets home from work and he's just got home from work, they also were like, hey, if you've been with the kids all day and you're stressed and you've had a bad day, the women are constantly being like, don't dump that immediately on the person coming home.
Yeah.
Because they're like, that makes them, quote, not want to really come home.
Yeah.
But no one has yet to point it out from the other perspective of like, yeah, how about the person who is home and then the person coming home is dumping their day on you?
Yeah.
Is like also the same effect.
Yes.
Where it's like, I would like to be happy to see you come home as
Yes.
much as you are happy to come home.
Yes.
So it is both. But I feel like a lot of men don't ever point that out, or maybe it's just not a pressure men have.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Shooters Gotta Shoot. I am your host, Erica Spera, and as always, I got a great guest for you guys this week. But first, before we get to our guest, we are almost at 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. What? So if you're here and you're watching and you're not subscribed, why not? All right? It's free. Help your girl out. And if you're listening to this, go watch us on YouTube. It's more fun, honestly. The link is in the description, or just search us at Shooters Gotta Shoot podcast. But we're at 1.7, baby. Almost at 2,000. Help your girl out. And another way you can help us, if you have a little cash, you can join our Patreon, which is patreon.com/shootersgottashoot. There are about 120 extra episodes over there. We're not doing any extra episodes anymore every week. So if you join, it's just to support the show or get the old backlog. But it helps us pay for the studio and the clips and all that jazz. So join over there at patreon.com/shootersgottashoot. So without further ado, I got to get to our guest this week. Hit it, Fonzie. All right, you might have seen him on The Tonight Show, or you might have seen his HBO special. He's my most peaceful, most zen friends, all the way from L.A. I got Orlando Leyba in the house. Woo-hoo!
Yeah, boy. That's my song. That is my song, dude. Release your inhibition, bro.
It's the best.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. I
you
love
jacked
that
up.
song. Yeah, that song was like it made me. I want to say it helped me move to Los Angeles.
Really?
Yeah, because I used to watch The Hills in Laguna Beach, but not because now people are like, you watch Laguna Beach, and I'm also like a tech nerd, and I worked for CBS News. I was a satellite engineer, a cameraman, and an editor. And a lot of people don't know that they were the first ones. Laguna Beach and The Hills was one of the first shows. There were some on, but was one of the first shows that was on that was shot high definition, cut high definition, and broadcast high definition. So some shows would shoot high definition, then they would edit, and it wouldn't be like editing high definition.
Yeah.
They would downgrade it, and then they would broadcast it. So Laguna Beach and The Hills, they brought that to us on television, and I just remember seeing the visuals. First time I went to LA was to just go see Laguna Beach.
Oh, really?
I flew,
Yeah.
landed, hung out, and drove to Laguna Beach and just stayed in Laguna Beach for the night. Woke up, and it was just like the show. Everything was just so beautiful. I'm always chasing beauty, man, and looking for it wherever I can find it. And then when The Hills came out, the same thing. They shot LA in such a beautiful way. It's not really like that. It is like that if you choose to look at it like that, but I know that some people just can't muster that in their brain.
That show actually was my intro to quote Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But then now that I've gone to LA enough times with comedy, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a totally different part. It's similar to like if you watch the Kardashians and you think you know LA life, it's like, oh no, they're Calabasas. Like they're kind of suburbs outside of like Los Angeles city area.
And then it lost its magic once both of the shows lost their magic when like there was a big write-up on the shows, and in the write-up, I can't remember where exactly it came out, they actually showed that a lot of the stuff was staged.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was like Laguna Beach was legit being lit. Like I'm talking nerd talk right now.
Oh yeah, wait. If you watch the show, I don't know if it was Laguna Beach. I think it was the Hills. The very, very end of the Hills. They have the final scene, and it's like two people that are whatever in love. I forget. I think it's Lauren Conrad and somebody. And she's like leaving in a car, and it's kind of this sad ending. But then all of a sudden, there's this like cut. She gets out of the car. It zooms out, and you see lights and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember people freaking out, being like, wait. Was this whole show not real? Yeah. But then it made them go, and Laguna Beach, was that also not real?
Yeah.
And it was a real group of people that know each other and are connected and whatnot. But it's like, it's every reality show makes them stage stuff and makes them have drama.
No, and they were doing retakes and everything.
Oh, yeah,
in that article, they were showing it. And you're right. That was the main thing that stood out to everybody was, especially to like the techie nerdy world, that like, oh, this thing is being lit. Like you can't. This backdrop, there's no way that's too hot of a background for it not to be,
Right. Yeah. Even just
not
the
to be
sound
blown out and stuff like that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I worked on a reality set a long time ago. And even just the fact that, like, even if you're someone that walks through the background.
No, you don't just blow past that. What reality show?
I was in college. I worked on the Cake Boss show as an intern.
Cake Boss. Oh, yes. Wow.
So, but it was, but part of my job was getting the releases from everybody.
Yes.
And that was eye-opening of like, oh, even these people that are in the background.
Yeah.
Not really a part of us filming. Still need permission to be on camera and are in on what's happening.
Yes.
So you're like, oh, okay, stuff is still like staged and planned out because it's like, show's more exciting when there's drama.
Yes.
Yes,
and it's funny, you cover your butt so much that like even you have that paper out front that says, hey, there's filming going on, you will be whatever, but you still haven't signed a release. That's okay. I thought the Cake Boss, that's not really a reality show.
It is and it isn't.
It is and it isn't. That's more about just feeding your soul, man. That's
it's a feel-good one.
Yeah,
it's not drama-oriented, but it's even like...
That's my obsession. Like, non-drama shows are my thing. Reality shows. That was the thing about, like, me with, like, the show Fixer Upper on HGTV, because there's never a real big problem. There's there's like, hey, listen, we got to put in a new pipe, and it's going to cost this much. That's it. There's always no big drama. That's me.
Well, that's House Hunters.
Yeah.
I heard, and I'm sorry if this is breaking people's hearts listening. The house is already it's already a couple that's like putting an offer on a house that have a dream home.
Yeah, and they've already picked the house.
And they find their story. And I know that because there was a comedian that ended up being on the show.
Yeah.
Who was buying a place in New York with his wife. And they were like, oh, we love your story and the kids and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, we already had the house. Yeah. And they just add 2 other ones to show us and have this real estate.
Yeah, there's actual episodes where there's pictures of the family that's looking at the house already in the house.
Yeah.
Like where they dropped the ball and it's like, yo, that's the family picture. That's a portrait right there. Like that. And you could tell, and if you ever want to, because as couples that watch HGTV and stuff like that, if you ever want to gamble, like this more for the dudes, if you ever want to gamble on that show, you just, usually the house is the one that they're touching a lot of stuff on. If you see them touching the stuff in the house, that's the house.
That's a good. I would agree because I've obviously looked at my share of apartments in the day, and it's like I'm not really getting after it, touching things. You're being like respectful of people's space, especially if there's furniture.
Well, unless you really like the place, and then you start touching.
Yeah, you're like this one's mine.
Where are we in this? I thought this was Shooters Gotta Shoot.
It is, but you took off on LA out the gate.
This is an edgy podcast. This is supposed to be edgy. What are we?
It's not crazy edgy. I wouldn't say it's crazy edgy. It kind of depends on the guest.
Well, sometimes the clips are fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
You guys are doing a great job, man.
I'm doing a great job.
The one
Fonzie and Fonzie, our producer. milestones. But I pick the clips, everybody.
Yeah, okay.
If anyone would like to work for the show and pick the clips.
That was quick about patting themselves in the back. Dude, Jesus Christ.
Listen. Actually, no, because I need help, Orlando. And this reminded me to ask for help from the fans. If you like this podcast, you already like watching it.
Just
and you want to help
join
me
the
pick
Patreon.
clips.
Join the Patreon.
And help me pick clips. So much time. It's so much time.
Join the Patreon. Right. Donate some more money to the show so she could hire and stop taking credit for all this.
Okay. Wait, real quick.
It's a fantastic podcast.
We do talk dating and relationships.
Yo, one guy told you smelled like the 7 train or
what you train? Saw that clip? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What was that?
And that was when I paid for dinner. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Can I ask you that?
Yeah.
Like I was like, I paid for dinner.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be like, oh, this is the opportunity to tell you. I think you smelled.
But did you say something to him, like, or this is you did where you came up with the comeback later, like?
Oh, this is what I did.
Up with the comeback.
I was really, really mad, and if I get really, really mad, I get quiet.
Oh.
And we were on the train home to my apartment. No, I'm a Taurus.
Oh, I'm a Gemini. Oh, okay. So I do the same thing. That's really weird.
Nah, I am stubborn. I fit the stubborn Taurus thing. Yeah. But I was so mad, and also I saw it in his eyes that he was like, oh, I fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a train ride home together. That's why it came up.
How old was this guy?
I don't know, 27? 20, I think I was 26. Yeah, I was 25, 26.
Yo, he's still making those mistakes at 27.
I know.
That frontal lobe is supposed to open at
I would
25.
Think so. But I think I made the correct move because he sweat the whole train.
Yeah.
He's trying to make a joke when we back. And I was like, no, we're going to sit in silence.
Yeah.
You're going to think about it.
Do this.
I think men only really respond to silence a lot of times. You know what I mean?
No, not me.
You're a married man.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, okay? You get into some type of scuff with your wife, some type of argument.
Mm-hmm.
What really makes you, I guess, realize that you fucked up or feel bad? Is it like you want to get yelled at? Silent treatment? What?
No.
What is it? Anything?
That knows I fucked up?
That makes you really, I don't know, let's say think about what you did, right? As if you're a kid.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Nothing?
No, because I'm grown. I talk it out. Like,
but you're saying, so that's the way to approach it with you.
Yeah,
You'd be like, you need to come, be like, hey, I didn't like when you did X, Y, Z, and really talk to you about it. And that makes you actually understand.
Yeah, if you're sitting in a corner pouting, I'm just going to keep going about my day. It's just what I do. I don't even notice it sometimes.
But if you're mad, you said you'll get quiet.
No, once it got to the point where it's there, but I let people know, yo, you're out of pocket on this one. I let her know you're out of pocket.
Okay.
And so, but then also my wife is an excellent, if there was ever someone that should have been like a litigator, it should have been her. She's so good. She can argue her points and have evidence and all that. I'm very basic about mine. There's no thing, and she will keep on arguing, and then it gets to the point where it's like, yo, I'm done. I'm especially when it's getting close to bedtime, I'm just like, I don't do the whole argument through the night thing. I can fall asleep. We could have a full blown out fight. I'll go to sleep like nothing.
Really?
Nothing.
Do you feel like that's how you always been?
That's how it's always been, man. Sleep is very important to me.
I did say you're the most zen, peaceful, one of the most zen and peaceful people I know. Yeah. So a little background for the listeners.
Yeah.
You met your wife young. You met at 24.
Yeah, I turned 25. Our first big date was when I was 25, I guess.
25, okay.
Yeah, we hung out for my whole birthday. And yeah, we went to South Beach. We had a scooter. We had a hotel room. It was fantastic.
This is a first date?
No, this was already, my wife and I used to work together. Not together. We worked at separate recording studios. So she already worked in advertisement, and then I worked managing a recording studio, throwing out the trash, setting up the schedule for all the talent that would come in. And she was there, and that's how we met. The first time I met her, I was too busy on my two-way pager on my SkyTel, I think. And she says I didn't even pay attention to her.
Interesting.
So she says that. And then we got she was going through something, I was going through something, and then we would just share these special moments down by the bay where the sailboats parked, which is beautiful, and we would just share a pint of strawberry ice cream.
This is like on a lunch break after work.
And
that's how you really got to know her before you even asked her out.
Yeah, we were friends. She used to come over to the house. I had roommates, so we would watch movies in my room, and I would sit in the floor. I'll give her the bed. Bed was always made. I wasn't like a slob. I had a headboard.
Okay. All right.
And I would just sit on the floor, and it went on like that for a long time. Like it was good because we didn't have to make conversation during the movie. We could just both be quiet, and to be able that special moment where you kind of just look at each other because something awesome just happened. And you're just like, huh, You would just agree, and then go right back to the movie. It wasn't like, oh, we need to. We've been quiet for too long. It was just natural. Like,
yeah,
it was like we both brought each other peace at that time in our lives where we both needed peace.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So how long? I'm curious of this. You finally take her out on dates. You're finally like, I want to date this girl. I'm gonna take her out.
Yeah.
How many dates till you were like, I'm gonna marry this woman?
No, I don't know. We never thought about getting married. We talked so much. We didn't think we were gonna get married. We also made we didn't want to have children. And the only thing that changed is that we got married, and that was with a lot of pressure. Like my wife and I, we dated and lived under the same roof for like 5 years.
Really? But you both mutually just were like, I don't think marriage is for me.
Yeah.
But this is enough. Being together is enough.
Being together, but then I also knew that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her.
Right.
So
And was the pressure like from families?
Yeah, but it wasn't about pressure. It was like I genuinely wanted to spend my whole life with her, and I could be funny and be like I could see also the tax benefits, but it was more like, why not do this? And I didn't. When I got the ring, shout out to Kiko, he actually lent me the money to buy her a ring at the time because I didn't want to just go with, you're supposed to get a ring with the salary that you make. And I wanted to get her more than what the type of money I was making at the time. My friend Kiko, so he lent me the money. I paid him back and whatnot. It's a beautiful human being. Anyway, I didn't even know when I proposed to her that she was gonna get. I didn't even think she was gonna get emotional, and then
really?
she lost it.
So did she not even think it was ever going to happen?
No. I was in my PJs. She was dressed up as Mrs. Santa Claus. We had just giving each other gifts. It was all Christmas. Yeah. So all the gifts are handed out. She was Mrs. Claus, so she gave out the gifts in the house. The whole family's there. We all were in PJs, right? And then one of those, she was just there, and like she turned around, and I was down on one knee with the ring out, and she was just like, and boom, she just lost it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was shocked. I was just like, I wasn't expecting this.
Really? But it is. It's a real surprise. I feel like half the crying is just from the shock of it and being thrown off guard.
Yeah.
What do you remember what you said in your like speech?
No, there was
just
no
will
speech.
You marry me?
Yeah, let's do this, man.
Let's do this.
Let's get these tax breaks.
The whole thing.
You know what I'm saying? There's certain stuff I'm gonna share. There's certain stuff that's intimate, man. We live in a world where people overshare too much, and there's certain stuff you keep to yourself. I know what I said, but
okay, that's all right. You don't have to share. I know you're a married man who's loyal to your lady. So you've been together how many years now?
Together 19, married on paper 14.
14. Okay, still a long time. 19, coming up on the 20-year anniversary. Yeah. Okay, so I have to ask you, what do you feel like was the best relationship advice that you've ever received?
It depends, and there's different levels of it. When you're a young man, I remember my mom telling me, don't share everything.
With your partner?
With your partner. Yeah, because there's some stuff that they just shouldn't know, And then I got the advice that, hey, share everything with your partner. And now, later on, and this is after actually going to therapy with my wife and just because therapy is more like a tune-up thing. Hey, we see something's wrong. Let's see what's going on, especially after the pandemic. It's more like check-in. Always check-in.
Okay.
Check-in.
And you mean just going, hey, how are you feeling? How you doing?
Yeah.
How are we doing?
How are we doing?
Is there anything?
Yeah.
Do you bring this up? Do you almost go the slightly negative of like, hey, is there anything like that I've done lately that bothered you? Do you ever throw that out there?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Everything from how's your day to how I'm performing, in the bedroom.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like I have
Really
no, there's no filter when it comes to her about. Well, I don't feel comfortable asking. How am I not gonna feel comfortable asking her?
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
everything. How's my performance here? How's my performance there? Anything. I don't suggest anything unless she tells me. And what do you think? That which she naturally does. Is there anything? I'm like, no, I'm cool.
You good?
We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just check in, and try to be like more kinder. Like, man, that thing. There was a clip going around on social media, but my social media, that algorithm for me is all pretty much like puppies, kittens, and positive energy type deal, because I purposely click on that sort of stuff. So that's the type of stuff that I see. The one that it was a lady, and she's saying, lie to me. How can you go out there in the world and like put a smile to your boss and to people in the street, and then you come home and you just dump all this anger and negativity of the day on me? Like, at least balance it out a little bit and lie to me. Like, and it doesn't sound right at first when you hear it, but it does sound right when you listen to it. Like, yeah, like I can't just come every day and be like, man, today was shitty. You know what I'm saying?
So you kind of agree.
Yeah, they put me to do the check spots. Ugh.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? One of the things as comics that we do is we bring it home, and when we bomb real bad and stuff, I've learned that I leave that on the doorstep. I don't bring it inside the
Leave it
house.
outside?
Like, I actually wipe my feet on the rug outside on the all-purpose weather rug outside of my house, and I leave it out there before I walk in the house.
Okay.
Because it's like there's only so much. I don't do it every day, but there's only so much you can dump into another human being, and they're going through their own shit.
Yeah, this is also very common with if anybody works in like coaching. Things where it's like you're winning, you're losing. Yeah. Sales is another one that's high pressure. Yeah. How's your day? But it's interesting to hear you say this, because I feel like of when you go traditional gender roles, right? And I've heard a lot of women talk about like, oh, okay, if you're home and your man gets home from work and he's just got home from work, they also were like, hey, if you've been with the kids all day and you're stressed and you've had a bad day, the women are constantly being like, don't dump that immediately on the person coming home. Yeah. Because they're like, that makes them, quote, not want to really come home. Yeah. But no one has yet to point it out from the other perspective of like, yeah, how about the person who is home and then the person coming home is dumping their day on you? Yeah. Is like also the same effect. Yes. Where it's like, I would like to be happy to see you come home as much as you are happy to come home. Yes. So it is both. But I feel like a lot of men don't ever point that out, or maybe it's just not a pressure men have. Yeah, because it's like where the natural thing is that, oh, you're the nurturing one, the female is the nurturing one, the one that's always. But it's also the men don't want to talk. Yeah. Quote unquote, men never want to talk, so it's like, don't push him to talk. Yeah. Don't be dumping. Yeah. Man, one of the best things, I most of my sets now are like the positive things about the pandemic, and one of the positive things about the pandemic is the amount of people that have gone out and gotten therapy and learned and picked up a couple of tools that they could throw on their tool belt to now know how to deal with their partner, or now know how to deal with their boss, or now know how to deal with the world. And I had some of those tools. I picked up some more, but I clearly see it like just in other people, just like the way they communicate with me and everything. I said, oh, you had some tweaking done. That's good. That's good. You went in there. You let someone in there and tinker a little bit with you. And I think for a lot of people, it's just having the space that they can fully say everything they want to say. Yeah. I think for a lot of anxious people, that is like the number one part of therapy is they're like, oh, finally, I can say exactly what I want to say and not worry about hurting anybody else's feelings and whatnot. It's just a neutral person that legally can't tell anyone. Yes. But then, also like be careful. Now you're not bringing that into the world. Right. I'm also a believer that we're getting way too sensitive. We're getting like way too sensitive. Like, I don't disagree. Yeah. Like it's like, yeah, you're supposed to feel some of the stuff that you're feeling. Right. Oh, I feel depressed. Well, part of it is depressed. Part of it, you're just bored. Be bored. Be creative.
Think of something. But it's the phone stuff, and this is all that I believe. This isn't no study. It's just like, because I see nephews and nieces put the phone down and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even do the whole thing. I don't even do that. I don't even put it on the table and put it facing down.
Mm-hmm.
It's not on me right now.
Oh, yeah. I took a couple communication classes in college, and not when you say communication classes, people assume the video, the editing, and all that. Mm-hmm. And my degree was split into 2 parts, and one was actually studying communication between people. Yeah. And 2 of the biggest things I remember learning in that class was messages sent never equal messages received. No matter how clear you are, no matter it's 2 different people. It's never going to be fully 100% received correctly. Yeah. But the other biggest thing I learned was like when you say the phrase like, you made me blank, you made me sad, you made me happy, et cetera, that's actually not true. Yeah. Other people, other things are not actually making you feel those things. It's all your own perception of all the things that are happening to you. So I thought it was valuable of like, you talk dating relationships. It's like, yeah, you can't look at people of like, this person's going to make me happy. Someone, you can be happier having someone in your life. But at the end of the day, it's like, that person isn't really the thing or the force making you happy. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's the same thing of like, you can't expect your partner to make you happy. You have to find other things to make you happy. And it's the same with the world.
They should add to your happiness.
Yeah, they should add to your happiness. I'm not saying your partner you shouldn't feel happy, but saying the phrase like, you made me feel this, like you're making me, it's like, well, it's often a perception thing. And it is true. Sometimes an action causes something and it causes a reaction and X, Y, Z, and eventually you feel a feeling. But it's more like the expectation of the person being like, you should be making me feel happy, or you should be, it's like, it's never really on the other person. It's always how you're perceiving the thing. And it's not saying like some people are probably hearing this right now being like, what do you mean my feelings aren't valid? Yeah. No, they're valid. It's just understanding. It's like all of us feel things because of how we perceive the world. Yeah. So it's like how something on social media you can see and not feel jealousy. Let's say that. Yeah. You see happy couples posting pictures, you don't feel jealousy. No. I might see those same couples in pictures. I feel jealousy. Mm-hmm. Why? Well, because my perception is of me being a single person. Yeah. And your perception is you're in a happy, long marriage. Yeah. No, I see stuff like that. Like, for example, it's a good example. I'm like, why are you sharing so much? So it does bother me. It does bother me. Not that I'm competing, not that I'm jealous. I'm just like, man, why are you putting all your business out there? But I'm also a very private person. Okay. Like, I don't, like, why are you mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Right. But the thing is, we don't look at the couple posting the photo. Yeah. And I don't go, why are you making me feel jealous? Like, I'm not mad and blaming them. Yeah. It's just a feeling I'm having because of what I've perceived. Yeah, yeah. So it's no one's fault. I look at it like just a dad and stuff. I'm like, this is not safe. Like, that is the number to your house in the background there. Oh, like that? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like, that's another level. Why are you putting your kids and stuff? And it's funny because they're doing it for the, I believe they're doing it for the likes. I mean, it's always for the likes. Yeah. It's 9 times out of 10 for the likes. You know, if anything, that's why I love seeing someone that's so famous join social media so late and how pure they are when they first join. They're like, oh, what do we upload pictures on Instagram? They're the ones being like, sunset, look at this. How I used to use Instagram back in the day. It'd be like, here's a picture of a meal I thought was cool. And I still have like a bunch of old posts up. And I one time went and scrolled so far back being like, what did I even used to post? Because now it's all videos. Yeah. And I found like the most simple post, and I was like, "Oh, look at that, getting 30 likes. Not a care in the world. Wasn't it all sitting there like only 30? I should delete it." You know? Did it take you back? Did it take you back to that moment? Well, it took me back to just being like, "Oh, I remember when I had an Instagram and just purely didn't care." That's nice. Like it was all purely posting. I like that. Whatever you wanted to post. This is the edgiest podcast you've ever recorded with me. I'm keeping it clean. You're on the bottom. I'm keeping it a little clean. No, this is going to get you 30 views. Is it? 30 views. You're going to hit, you're going to get a half a subscriber after Listen, when I have real people on I know, I like to have a genuine conversation. I know I can get deep with you. Can I say that? Yeah. I know you're, you think about these things. I think about stuff. A lot more than others. Yeah. Okay. We have some videos we could do here that I wanted to get your opinion on. Go ahead. We do a fun little segment at the end. So you got to put your headphones on for this. I do. I have another side. Okay. Let's see. So I tried to pick things here that I thought would apply to you, partly being in a relationship, but also just we're 3 months.
Hey, Jackie.
Yes. So this is I always fuck up how to say her last name. Cashian? Am I saying that right? Jackie Cashian.
Yeah, she has a great podcast.
She has a great podcast. Hilarious. Also, hilarious comedian. If you ever have a chance to see her, go see her. She had uploaded this bit. I want to get your thoughts, your opinion on it. It is about relationships.
We're 3 months into dating, and my husband says to me, it's kind of great that you've never had a boyfriend. You don't have any expectations of me. And I said, I have expectations of you. And he goes, yeah, what are your expectations of me? And I said, well, I expect you to be nice. I expect you to be polite. I expect that if we ever live together, you'll keep the common areas clean and you'll do your half of the chores. And he goes, those are roommate expectations. Those are not boyfriend expectations. And I said, well, what are boyfriend expectations? And he goes, you don't need to know. You're good. We're 3 months.
Okay. Now, you're a married man. You live with your wife.
Yeah.
How much would you say your expectations vary from like partner expectations, husband, versus roommate expectations?
I'm a little bit confused. That one threw me off a little bit.
Okay.
That what I expect from my wife?
No. Like that's expected of you.
What? Is
like I saw this bit and everything she said, I was like agreeing, and then the reveal at the end got me, where it was like, yeah, that's a roommate. That's not actual like boyfriend or relationship duties.
Yeah. No, her expectations of me are nothing like that. Her expectations of me are like share, love, and like rub me down.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it.
But also, I think she also knows that I'm of service, so I naturally do all the roommate stuff.
So you're not someone that had to get told.
Yeah, I'm off at saying like I'm quick at saying I love you real quick, but at showing it and like touch and I'm not. But
interesting.
Her gas tank is always full. The trash is always out. I love vacuuming.
You are a clean guy.
I love vacuuming. I love ironing. Like those are but those are also like therapeutic things that like make me like not think about nothing. So when I'm vacuuming, I'm just there. I'm on the couch just vacuuming the couch. And
interesting. That's how I feel about cooking.
Yeah.
That's why I like to cook. It's like just I'm doing something
I
with my
wish
hands.
I could cook, but I don't wish I could cook because that's probably lying to yourself. Because if I wanted to learn how to cook, I would learn how to cook.
You could learn. That's every man. I wish. Not every man. Some of them. All right.
How about you? Do you have what are your expectations?
3 months into dating,
What are your expectations?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Yeah. If you get into a relationship, what do you feel like really is the like relationship expectations?
I'm
to bring it next level. Is it really just like the listening and like caring for someone on that?
From them to me?
I don't know. Either way, both.
Like
put it this way: a lot of men, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're in boyfriend phase, but like the thought of being a husband, they suddenly have things in their mind that they're like, well, a husband, I'm gonna have a whole new list of expectations in this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas for me personally, I'm like, if I'm dating someone and I'm with them, if suddenly we're engaged and it's going towards marriage, I don't think I suddenly have a higher list of expectations or more expectations that get put on this person. I feel like I would also expect that in my relationship as it is, boyfriend level.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it at all shifts, changes?
No.
You'd
I think
agree?
we all want the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it was an interesting thing to think about. It's like if someone said to you, what are your expectations from me as a boyfriend, as a girlfriend, as a whatever, just as a partner?
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we think to the little things first.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, no. That's a roommate.
Well, it's hard for us to even go deep right away.
A little bit, I guess. Or put it this way. If you've never had a high level of a relationship with someone, it is that question of like, well, how would I really know? What do I need from this person?
Yeah.
If I've yet to hit this level with that person.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Next one.
But then listen, like for example, then you get divorced, and like my brother got divorced, and then his expectations with the next women that he was dating. Now he's remarried to a wonderful woman. It's his second marriage, but his expectations of all these other women that he was kind of entertaining after his divorce was like his cutoff rate was fast, man. They would do like one thing that was out of pocket that didn't fit this, I guess, list that he had, and it was just like,
that's it. He's like, been there, done that.
Yeah.
Can't teach an old dog new tricks.
No, I know this is gonna equal this, and it's gonna head to that.
I'd say that's most divorced people because they know what it really is, the work that really happens. Yeah. Being long term with somebody.
Yeah. But I was like that when I dated too. You know, we're both my brother and I are lucky because we had. Well, I got the best of it. My mom was very communicative with me. She shared a lot, and I was blessed more than them because I got raised by all women. So it's like my way of communicating with women has always been like, I guess, at a higher level
than most men.
Yeah, but I'm still like learning stuff. The fact that I know, hey, my love language is one of service, Yeah. I didn't know that. But then my mom is the same way. My mom didn't say I love you to me as a kid and hardly hug me, but it's like I always had a roof over my head. I always had clothes on my back, and there was always a hot meal waiting for me. I never went hungry. And this woman, but I knew I was loved because of this. Like, I guess her and I were speaking the same language. Right. It's like, yeah, I know that I'm loved. Okay. You know what I'm saying? She made me like that. And every once in a while, she would cook me the worst thing in the world, which was Chef Boyardee, raviolis. Like, that was my jam. Like, I would beg her for that. Like, I get some Chef Boyardee. And she was just like, this is bad. Okay. But I'll get it for you.
That's sweet. Yeah, I feel like your love language is often how you were shown love.
Yeah. But you don't think it's predisposed?
What?
Like that you already have it in you? It's in your DNA.
I think it's partly in your DNA, but I think it's also a combo of your environment. I think, especially with the saying "I love you," I feel like that very much is like if you didn't come from a house that says "I love you" a lot, those people in that house leave that house and are a similar way. That's the number one thing you said that I was like, oh, I've heard many people be like, oh, I didn't come from a house that it says I love you every time right before we hang up the phone. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas I'm like, I get that text from my mom every night. Yeah. It's like, you home? You home safe?
I say I love you a lot though. Right. I say it now. But it's I guess since it's at a certain speed, it means maybe less.
I don't know. I don't think
so. Hey, love you, Erica.
Well, like with friends.
And then with my wife, it's like, I love you.
Right. But I don't know.
But I genuinely have love for you. I genuinely love you. I want you to succeed and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not saying people can't change.
This is the
I'm saying the I love you
you've ever recorded. I'm sorry for bringing this.
It is. Okay.
Emotional dumbness.
Wait, go to the pickle jar one.
It's the same leg.
Oh, is it? It's screwed up? Damn it.
Is it over?
Okay, let's try. Okay, wait, pause this real quick. So this says, up top, it says, when you clean the house, put away the dishes just to hear, not tonight. So this is a man who made some TikTok trying to be jokey of like, I clean these dishes. I'm not getting late. Yeah. And another man made a very thoughtful response to it. So that's going to play in a second.
Thank you for this perfect example of how often invisible labor gets missed in relationships. Because setting aside that you expect a steak meal experience for snack effort, this is an example of how some partners think that they are doing a lot when they're not. They're just doing something visible. Like if I do the dishes, it's obvious. You can see me doing the dishes. You can see the absence of dirty dishes. But that's not the majority of labor that your partner is doing. Say he cooked dinner for his family. Is that helpful? Sure. But who planned the family's meals based off of everyone's meal preferences and allergies? Who figured out the list of ingredients they were going to need to make those meals? Who looked through the pantry, fridge, and freezer and then made a grocery list and then went and got the groceries? Who planned ahead so that there were clean dishes to actually make dinner? That is labor. That's labor that takes a lot of work. And it gets missed because it's not visible. It happens in here. But if you want to help your partner have more energy at the end of the day, you're going to have to take some things off of their plate. And not just the things that they can see you doing, but those tasks that take a tremendous amount of cognitive energy to keep your household running.
Okay. All right. So basically he's saying there's a lot of tasks that are invisible labor that also...
I don't like that, dude.
Also...
I don't like this tone. I don't like his vibe.
You don't like him?
Don't tell me what to do.
What? The guy that was just explaining this?
Yeah.
But do you agree with what he's saying?
Nah.
You don't agree with what he's saying?
Nah.
Basically what he's saying?
Just on this tone, I don't agree with
You don't agree with him?
Yeah.
You're a married man. You don't agree with what he just said?
I agree with
there's invisible labor?
I agree if someone else said it. Like if you told me the same thing, I'll be like, yeah, you're right.
Well, maybe.
That's the sense he said it. I don't like his face. His face bothered me. You know what I'm saying? His lighting bothered me. Everything bothered me.
Okay. You didn't like it?
Yeah. I don't like it.
I did not expect you to go this way on this guy. I thought you were going to back this. This invisible labor, what?
Nah.
No?
His face bothered me.
Is it because it was a man and you communicate better with women?
It could be that.
It's probably
It could be
It's
that.
probably that. I think you felt you were in trouble.
No, I just felt like, nah. I just felt like, shut up. That's what I felt.
Okay.
Shut up. That's what wanted to come out of my mouth. Now it's coming
Really?
out.
Okay. Let's say one of your friends.
I understand what he said. It was the way it was delivered. The
I get
message
that.
was wrong. You
Okay.
should hire
Let's
someone.
say let me make it a different scenario.
Yeah.
I guess ignore this man's advice because you hated it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say one of your boys comes to you and says the original scenario of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, man, I cleaned up the kitchen after dinner last night. I go into bed with my wife that night,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, yo, let me get a little, I'm in the mood. She says, I'm not in the mood. I'm really tired.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? I did the dishes. I cleaned the kitchen.
Yeah.
I get nothing. What would you say to that guy? Would you be like, you're way out of pocket?
Yeah.
What would you say to him? I'm that guy. Say
You're out of pocket.
That's it.
That's it. And he'll understand. Yeah, you're right.
I don't understand. Say I don't understand.
You don't understand. You're out of pocket. Dog, how long was her day? You came in and washed the dishes, that's all? How long was that day? You don't know where she been. She's probably a morning person. Got to get it in the morning. Ask for it in the morning.
This would be your genuine advice to this man? It's just a different time?
Yeah.
Not at all about the principle.
Yeah.
You do a dish and that means you get pussy?
Anybody can do dishes. The machine does it. Relax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
I really did not see these clips going that way.
No.
I'm not
like
gonna lie to
his
you,
face,
Fonzie. Yeah, all right, everybody. I thought it was a very brilliant. I thought it was it was a well explained thing. I thought men would watch that and be like, "Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that." Of like all the prep it took.
But it's I guess you're just talking to the wrong dude because it's common sense.
Yeah, I guess it's common sense too.
No, it's not.
I think a lot of people, men, women, whoever's doing a lot of invisible work in the house, it's often being not noticed and not appreciated. Because I heard this other example. I don't have the video for it.
I hate the fact that they call it invisible work.
Because it is invisible labor.
Nah, I don't care.
Okay. How about this example?
It's work. She put in work.
All right.
That's the thing that we're finding, like that there's a whole not invisible work. There's the same argument. Yo, I've been working all day taking care of your kids. Yeah, but I wash the dishes. Stupid. I've been working all day watching your kids. I don't feel like it right now. I just wash vomit off of my thigh when the baby sped up on me.
Yeah.
It's like, but now they're calling that invisible work. It's like rebranding. And so what are we doing? She worked. She did great.
She did work.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
My wife all day at home.
I think this is more touching on the fact that like you do a little bit of work and you think that means you get a reward.
Yeah.
Because another scenario of this is like
there's a bunch of clips which is the opposite where that's the and
you okay?
Yeah. Had a burp there. But it's like for example, it could be the other clip where it's like that he's doing the dishes and she's getting all worked up and heated because he's doing the dishes. Like she's being aroused by this. There's a whole segment.
Yeah, true.
I feel that's what that guy was aiming at. And then he didn't get it. And then he was trying to make fun of it. That could be a different angle.
I don't think it was making fun of it. I mean, I don't know.
The other guy just coming and explaining it. And then I think it would have, if he would have came in, he would have been like, yo, my guy. This woman just had a long day. She made the meal that you guys ate. She made sure that everybody had the right thing. For God's sakes, you guys breeded a kid that has a peanut allergy. She couldn't put walnuts in the salad. Like she knows all this. And now you over here trying to get some off of some dishes. You didn't even do the dishes. You just soaked them and then put them in the dishwasher. That would have been, I think the message would have been better received. But I get it.
Making it more just about you're not always going to get whatever reward.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people have feelings. Women have feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go through days. Well, because I was going to say that I've seen an example before.
He was mansplaining to men.
Yeah, basically.
What?
Yeah, it's not nice, is it? You didn't like it.
I did not like it. I did not like it.
Yeah, you didn't like it.
I didn't like it.
Now you know how it feels.
I didn't like it. That guy gets 0 stars from me.
Well, I was going to say, I've heard the scenario of, I once saw this clip and this guy was talking about, he was like complaining to his therapist and the therapist was telling the story of, the therapist was like, the guy was like, it was something like, I did the dishes after dinner and, she didn't say thank you. I didn't hear her say thank you. And then the guy was like all bent up about it. And the therapist was like, okay, who does? And he started asking questions of the invisible labor like this. And he says, do you say thank you to her every time like the laundry gets done? Or every time you come home and you notice the house was cleaned? Like he started pointing out like little things.
Yeah.
Do you thank her every time she drives the kids to school so you can go to work? And the guy was like, no. And he goes, so why do you expect a thank you anytime you chip in when there's plenty of work this other person's doing that it wasn't that visual thing you could see?
Yeah.
And I feel what's weird though is I feel like people feel that both ways, men, women, whatever. There's something to be like, you see me doing this task, you like a thank you. You like this like positive reinforcement when it's like, if you're in a good relationship, you both should be doing things that aren't
I remember
100% visible.
I remember talking to a couple, and I think it states is going to what you're saying, where he told me, it was actually the guy who told me that before they go to sleep at night, they thank each other. And she'll be like, hey, thank you for taking out the trash today and everything. He's like, hey, thank you for taking the kids to school today. And like they actually have this process. But this was a couple. I think they went to therapy.
Yeah, that sounds like a therapy task.
Yeah, and then task. And my wife and I, we just naturally do that. But also, we don't have a lot of the things that, come on, I don't work a regular 9 to 5. I'm not at Home Depot throwing paint, or I'm not in some law office reviewing contracts all day, you know, or documents. And she's working from home, and she is working from home. Her brain is like, she's doing that in the sense of she's dealing with clients and dealing with talent and castings and all that. My wife is a producer. She has to do all that. So I know most of her thing is not physical. And me, most of the day, I just daydream.
Okay.
You know, and stuff. So I guess, you know, that's why I never like when people say, oh man, relationship goals with me. I'm like, no. It's my relationship. Mm-hmm. We have our ups and downs. You gotta, you know, you have a good relationship.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You take care of that, what you have. Me and Vanessa are different. We're built different, and we are different. And I thank her because of that, because I might not say I love you all the time, but I do say thank you all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like even for, you know, like right now I'm in New York. I'm staying in a nice hotel. You know, we're hanging out with friends. I get to do your wonderful podcast and everything. And she's out there, and in L.A. now it's raining, and she's walking the dog in the rain. If I was there, I would be walking the dog in the rain. Right. And I tell her, thank you for walking Nina in the rain. You know, I know it isn't to whoever's listening. It's like, what is this guy talking about? But that's important to me, and I thank her for it. Right. Yeah. I think it's a relationship thing. It happens. Okay. But I get what the guy was saying. I was just upset at his tone.
Okay. All right. Well, unfortunately, we do have to wrap up the pod here. But thank you so much for coming on. If you guys haven't watched Orlando's special, it is one of the best specials I've seen. It's on HBO. Look him up, Orlando Leyba, Leyba.
You had that question. I don't worry about my social media. The one question, my advice, you said there were two questions.
The shooting a shot?
Shooting my shot? Did I answer that?
No, but we're at time.
Oh, okay. Shoot your shot.
No, it's okay.
When you shoot your shot, here's my advice. When you shoot your shot, just be honest.
Be honest?
Yeah. And be simple. Hey, what's up? I'm Orlando. What's your name?
That's it.
They say, no, not interested. All right. And keep it moving.
And when you ask out, just get to it quick?
Yeah, get to it quick.
What's your line if you want to ask someone out? I'd love to take you on a date. What would you say?
Yeah.
That's it.
Would you like to go out sometime? No pressure. You can say no if you want to.
You add that in. You add the
I add that.
You're like, no is also an option?
No, it's always an option.
I mean, I know it's always an option. Yeah. Interesting.
Some dudes don't know it's an option.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can follow Orlando at HeyLando, HeyLando. Follow him. He's always touring all over. He's a credible stand-up, especially if you're in L.A. Yeah. He's in L.A. a lot. So make sure you check him out. And thank you so much for coming on the show.
I don't feel like we got enough clips.
Like the clips we're watching?
Latinos are always loud. I'm just going to give you a punchy one. Wow, man, what's up with wearing masks on airplanes? No one should wear masks on airplanes. Well, you should, because people fart, and I sleep with my mouth open, and that's why I wear a mask.
All right. Okay. We're good. Don't worry. All right. Don't worry about it. We're good. We'll find a clip. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.